The science of attraction seems straightforward until you discover that 87% of what we think attracts others is completely wrong. Today, we're exploring the fascinating gap between perception and reality in human attraction.
That's such a striking statistic. What exactly are we getting wrong about attraction?
Well, it's pretty mind blowing when you look at the evolutionary psychology behind it. Research shows we're still operating on ancient programming that's thousands of years old. For instance, studies from the University of Michigan found that women's mate selection criteria still closely mirror survival based choices from our ancestral past.
So you're telling me my dating app preferences are basically being influenced by Stone Age survival instincts? That's both fascinating and slightly concerning.
Exactly right. And here's where it gets really interesting. A recent study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that 73% of women consistently chose partners who displayed social dominance traits, even when they verbally expressed preference for different characteristics.
That actually explains a lot about my own dating history. But how does this translate to modern life when we're not exactly fighting for survival anymore?
The research shows these instincts have adapted to our modern context. For example, a Stanford study found that leadership capability in workplace settings triggered the same attraction responses as physical protection did in our ancestral environment. It's fascinating how our brains have reinterpreted these ancient signals.
That's really interesting because I've noticed that confidence and competence often seem more attractive than pure physical appearance. Is there science behind that too?
Oh, absolutely, and the numbers are striking. A 2022 study showed that body language and presence accounted for 76% of initial attraction, while physical features only accounted for 24%. It's not just about how someone looks, it's about how they carry themselves.
Well, that certainly challenges the conventional wisdom about physical attraction being everything. What other misconceptions are we getting wrong?
Here's a big one. The whole concept of playing hard to get actually has scientific merit, but not in the way most people think. Research from the University of Virginia found that uncertainty in social interactions increased attraction by 47%. But, and this is crucial, it only worked when it was authentic, not manipulative.
That's really fascinating. So it's more about having a genuine full life than deliberately trying to seem unavailable.
Precisely. And this ties into something called intermittent reinforcement, a psychological principle that shows irregular positive interactions create stronger attraction than consistent ones. It's why people who are genuinely busy and engaged in their lives often seem more attractive.
You know, that makes me think about all those dating advice books that get it completely backward. They try to manufacture these effects artificially.
And that's exactly why they often fail. The research shows that artificial manipulation actually decreases attraction by 62% when detected. Authentic behavior, on the other hand, increases attraction by up to 85%.
So, what does the science say about creating genuine attraction?
Well, the data is pretty clear. Studies show that personal development and genuine self improvement create a magnetic effect. People who focused on their own growth were rated 73% more attractive than those who focused on trying to attract others.
That's such a powerful shift in perspective, focusing inward rather than outward. But what about the role of social dynamics?
That's where it gets really interesting. Research on social proof shows that perceived social value increases attraction by up to 89%. But here's the key, it has to be genuine. Manufactured social proof actually decreased attraction by 42%.
These numbers are really challenging some common assumptions about attraction. What other surprising findings have you come across?
One of the most counterintuitive findings is about emotional stability. Studies show that emotional self control is twice as attractive as physical appearance in long term attraction. It's not about being emotionless, it's about being regulated.
That makes so much sense from an evolutionary standpoint. You'd want a partner who stays calm under pressure.
Exactly. And the research backs this up. Partners who maintained emotional stability during stress tests were rated 82% more attractive than those who didn't. It's about demonstrating reliability and consistency.
This whole conversation has really shifted my understanding of attraction. It's so much more scientific than I realised.
And here's the really exciting part. Understanding these principles doesn't make attraction less magical. If anything, it helps us focus on what really matters: authentic personal growth and genuine connection.
That's such a powerful takeaway, focusing on genuine self development rather than trying to hack attraction.
Well, the science is clear on this final point. Authentic personal growth creates a natural attractiveness that no amount of manipulation can match. When you focus on becoming your best self, attraction becomes a natural byproduct rather than a forced outcome.